I give you guys a few seconds to come in because normally as soon as I hit go, it's go. So I just want to give you guys a second to come in because I just want to kind of do a slight preview before I go into studio this morning. So it's lovely to be here on a Saturday. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you are. It is January 6th, 2023. And, just every now and then I have to get out of the car and come in and see you guys. Bonjour, Bolan Stefanovic. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you guys are doing well. Oh my gosh, it's corn. I can tell you all about it. Don't look at this thing. It's corn. I'm sorry, I've gone over that so many times in my head. And I don't even know why. The opening of it, for me, I really like code. And it gets a little bit nosy. Code. So, I've entitled this stream, Good Morning to Uncool Paranoia. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah, you guys, Uncool Paranoia is here. I know it's gonna be a good day. Bohan Stefanovic, I haven't seen you in a lifetime. I hope you're doing well. So today, I'm gonna go back to what I considered an older affinity. I'm gonna talk a little bit about these politics that are going on. The muckraking campaigns are brewing, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about. I'm even going to talk about KJP, aka Karine Jean-Pierre. She's always talking about how historic everything is, according to according to the thing and the thing administration currently in place. But there might be a little bit of a rift between her and Mr. Kirby. So I don't know. And that's just a part of the drama. You got to have some tension. You got to have a little tension. But who knows? I mean, to me, this is, I don't know. It's a show to me. It's entertainment. In the meantime, am I concerned? I'm not going to say it. I don't have concerns about what's happening with the country. I'm not going to say that because I would be lying. But at the same time, I don't have stock in these people. This is their system. I find myself, kind of should be asking for forgiveness for participating to the extent in which I have in the past. Many times just ask for, some grace on that. But, in this case, I'm going to go at it from an entertainment point of view. We're going to look at what I'm considering interesting points. It may not be important to you. You may not think it's important. I'm going to play the little Biden campaign slogan. I'm also going to tell you about a little bit of a little bit of tension allegedly between, KJP and Kirby. And so we're going to talk about a couple of these things. Also, there might be one other thing. But I'm also going to leave a little bit of leverage in for the people's pendulum. Okay. I really appreciate you guys. So, I just have to, this place can be a pick me up here, on YouTube, but I'm also going to tell you why. There's been a subversive trend going on for a while. And that subversive trend, unfortunately, is, I also want to speak a little bit just a little bit of commentary on this whole Cat Williams thing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, and to me, the whole Club Shay Shay thing, to me, that's a whole meal in itself, okay? The fact that we have a grown man, quote, black man, or a man with African descent, with a show called Club Shay Shay. In the South, that would have been 20 years ago. In the South, that's cool. Club Shay Shay, is that a bit effeminate for a man's? Just saying that. This is just saying for a man's podcast. When I think, well, let's just think about vowel sounds here. We know that the A sound, we know that long vowels say their name, but His name is Shannon, which is, I think, has more of an Irish derivative. Okay. Yeah, I think it's more of an Irish. So, but when you say Shay, you're not Shannon, you're Shannon Sharp, right? Sharp. It's still not. Just saying. That A, the Shay and the Sha, those are two different A's. Okay, for now, I had to get on a phoneme rant let me rant phonetically just a little bit. Let's do literacy foundations. But hey, what do I know? But here's the subversive trend. I think this is the goal. I'm on a little bit of a rant here, but at the same time, I want to bring out some things. Oh, I'm cool. She says the Fruit Loop Club. I want to bring out a few things. Uh, for one, the subversive culture of YouTube. Do you notice that you see more of a shift? There's a shift between these celebrities, whether you want to call them has-beens, washed up, whatever. All of a sudden, everybody has a podcast, and guess where they're coming? They're loading, they're loading on YouTube. So I think that also, when I talk about this place, I think they're gonna smoke us out anyway. Any kind of truth teller will smoke you out. But notice how gradually, I notice. I'm just thinking from the athletic perspective. You've got Shannon Sharp with about, I looked down. I watched the interview with this Cat Williams. I mean, I watched it. Um, uh, he's got about 2 million followers, but almost just about 750,000 people have viewed this Cat Williams interview. And he said something poignant, and I want to bring that out on the stream. And he talked about Cat Williams talking about, he drops a whole lot of names and all these little pedophiles, as they call it in the UK. He drops a little bit of that kind of knowledge um, into the box, into the loop. And he says, quote, now if I get this wrong, I'll show you the clip. But even the Gateway pundit, everybody wants to get a little piece of this. Everybody wants to get a little piece of this Cat Williams interview, because he dropped a lot of the elites' names. Of course, it's another expose. See, to me, that's another trend. These expose type interviews. But what's the end game? Where does it lead to? Just e.g. the quote black community or African American communities. What exactly is that all for? Okay, yeah, great. You got a lot of one-liners in there. I give you that. You got a lot of great one-liners that sting, that burn. They don't just burn, but they swell. All right, I got it. I'll give you that. But precisely, shout out to Uncool Paranoia that says controlled op. Exactly. I exactly is what I think, because we've seen this before. So if Cat Williams says, I'm not familiar with his work. I grew up in the 90s, and saw these kings of comedy, and I recognize that you might have a little. It's like a box of chocolates without, no pun intended. It's a box of chocolate with these people. You had the Cat Williams type. You never saw these people together. You never saw the cohorts. You never saw the Steve Harvey, and to me, this Smiley character is, to me, he's way beneath. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could put this guy in a category, I've heard his podcast, but I don't think that he is even quite in the same category as the old school, or as they said, the old heads. Shout out to Old Head Deuce, by the way. And good morning to John Roberts. He's not in the same category as with the Steve Harveys, the Mark Currys, or even the D.L. Hughley, which I'm not really some of these people I don't care. I don't care for them. But to me, he did expose a lot of parallels, and I said, yeah, that's interesting. And he supported his arguments. He did that. I'll give him that. I thought he was quite articulate. I thought um, he's going to appeal to people. I saw a lot of comments talking about, oh, he just set Hollywood on fire. Give me a break. Hollywood's already on fire. Like, really? And some people say, but hey, in the South, some of these people maybe say, or some people might say these people are already on fire. They don't need these exposés are not what's going to put them on fire. They're already on fire, okay? But he said a lot of things, and I don't want to get into it too much right this second, because to me that's a whole nother stream. Because if I could break that thing down, if I could deconstruct that whole thing and just pull out the main points, it takes me back to me, it'd probably take me to the same place as a Kanye West expose, when he talked about this and that, and when he talked about, but the question that he poses is, he says, do you want to know, he asked Sharp, would you like, because I won't refer to this man as Shay Shay. No, I know a Shay Shay, but it's a woman. So no, I will not abuse you I will not add that to my flavor. You won't get that here. Okay? In name only will I refer you to that. But he says, do you want to know what the main job of people that have sold their souls is? And of course, Shannon's, he's all ears, is to act like it never happened. To me, that's gaslighting. That's narcissism. And I see that riddle through communities, politics, you name it. I think he's right on the money, theoretically, but the practicality of these kind of expose, oh, tick, tick, boom, oh, let me get you a big swell in your, let me get you a big swell in your subscriptions, and a lot of people, that's a lot of people, as they say, as Deion Sanders phrase, a lot of people are eating off of these kinds of buzz shows, these expose shows. Oh, Kanye West went on to, I can't remember whose show was, he went on to the Drink Champs. He went on there, and a bunch of people jumped on that like a bunch of flies on splat, and a bunch of people jumped on that and got a few more viewers, a few more subscribers in there. I'm not, of course, interested in that, but I do found that there was some interesting, he made a lot of interesting points, and I do think maybe this guy, Cat Williams, has some, I think he has some religion. He's speaking the name of God, and he's quoting a lot of things that are rooted in in that. So I could respect that 100%. Good morning, Marcy T. But is it nurturing? Is it satiating? Is it nurturing? It's entertaining because we all know that most of these elites, they're not going to face any kind of just us in this life. No, they may not. Probably not. Probably not. But let me read Marcy's comment real quick. Marcy, love to you too. No, well, hang in there, Marcy. Hang in there, Marcy T. And we will catch up without a doubt. So hang in there and do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Because I know we've all got an end of some things going on, I'm sure. But yes, God is with you. That's what I can say. Okay. But yes. So let me say, John Roberts, good morning. Ghost, good morning to you. Void. So yeah, so I find it's an interesting, I think it's more interesting than I think it's, because I mean, you can see people in Shannon Sharp's, on his site saying, oh, you should cut this guy a check. You got over 21 million views in 2 days. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. Okay, but that's not his accent, but that's me being sarcastic or being out of character there. But I don't get, there's not a lot, you might, it's thrilling. It's kind of thrilling. And I think, to me, yeah, shout out to Uncool Paranoid, but she talks about the controlled opposition. Yes. I find many personalities, whether they call it themselves comedians, celebrities, all of their talents are being used for, it's, to me, it's kind of like the black preacher, the black church, the black ministers. They all give you a little bit of relief when your tensions are at the highest, or when society is, when you still can see that things are not where you think they should be, or they're just us and all. They cull the, they kind of take the edge off. So I think this interview with him, yeah, it's great. It's huge. It's kind of a lot to take in. I don't know if a long format, like it's like a mind dump, like, to me. I don't know if that style is, it's kind of hard to take it in because there was so much of it. To me, it's almost, you might be better off to do a part one, a part two, a part three, but just to just say, here, let it rip for almost 3 hours. Um, he'll get the same kind of mark as Kanye West, and it, to me, it's the same thing. Kanye, I mean, he had some interesting points, but it's still less rant and interesting. Okay, I guess is what I'm saying. You still had less rant and more interesting going on. That's what I'm saying. Excellent, Marcia T. You guys, please put your comments in the comments section. I'm out of the car today. I haven't been in, haven't shown my face on screen, but I'm going to get back to that. I mean, I'm going to get back to that. And full running. It's very shortly. But I'm giving you guys a little bit of a preview of what I want to talk about. But I just thought that this whole Cat Williams thing is very interesting. Now he's talking about, he even says, oh, 2024, all things are going to be revealed. We're going to separate. I'm not saying this. So some people, I've heard this other term that's come out from other people that say, oh, we're going to separate, the wheat and the tares, Well, they've always been there, right? Hugs to you too, Marcy. Hugs to you too. Love to you. But yeah, that's what I think that's what we're supposed to do anyway. Do we really need Williams and the Kanye West? And do we really need these factions? Even Candace Owens. I mean, and to me, that's not the same cohort, but I'm saying, do we really need controlled opposition to help us separate the wheat from the tares? I mean, give me the scripture, my friends out there. Give it to me. Because I think, to me, things that are backed up with scripture are much more powerful than just me interpreting, because a lot of people, they base their ministry on, I notice it, and this is, to me, I guess you might call this, I might be getting a dig at TD Jakes, but a lot of times I find with New Age, or people that are New Age kind of ministries, or Christianity kinds of ministries or shows, or mega kingdom churches, the kingdom that they built for themselves, their kingdom come, that they assume that you either won't go and look and see what the scripture says about what they say, or they don't think you will read it. They don't think you can, or they don't think they're not going to give you the scripture. Now, to me, I find it to be a little bit more, that there's a lot more veracity when somebody actually offers you the scripture to support, your argument or support your claims. I mean, I find that much more reliable. Thank you, Marcy. Same thing, uncool. Anytime you guys want to drop a scripture in the chat, you can do that as well. Because a lot of times I'm making references to things that I cannot quite nail down right off. Let's see. Shout out to Gary Gates. You rolled your paper up. You rolled your paper up in these guys. So yes. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I found that to be interesting. But then, like I said, I kind of want to look at some of these political sideshows. Also, I've told you guys this before. We're seeing purple everywhere, and you won't get the red team, the blue team. I'm just not. I'm gonna just tell you what I think about. I'm just gonna tell you what I think about it. I just think that it's corruption, lazy, complacent. You got Biden that talks about that calls the republic a democracy, and then he goes a republic. I'm like, see, all of this stuff is so disingenuous. It just depends on who uses it. Um, and that's the thing about being literate and being able to read is that when you think about what literacy is, it's more about being able to manipulate any piece of reading or writing or words, being able to find it. It doesn't really matter who. I don't care which one of these politicians uses the word. It's going to be who's ever the best manipulator wins. And that's probably what's going to happen. That's what's either going to. I mean, I'm hearing things about people sitting it out. Yeah, people are going to sit it out. Some people been sitting it out. They're going to sit it out some more. They're going to sit it out. They're not going to watch these campaigns, these, empty campaign promises. And I just, we're on a cycle. And I tell you something else that's back in the news. The CV-19 is back in the news. I witnessed something on, I don't watch mainstream news typically, but it just seems like they're trying to bring the narrative back that because people went and celebrated for the holidays and the numbers are up. They're up in more places than the others. And I'm just thinking, folks, we never see any bodies of anything casualties. Rare. Did we ever see that? That's another thing I'm thinking about these shootings. We never see any real. Not that. Oh, they could show you the George Floyd thing. They could loop that 1,000 times, BLM messages, and the knee on the neck for however many seconds that was. But they never show any carnage or any real footage. I mean, the power of Photoshop and poor Photoshops, and I'm telling you, some people don't question anything. They just roll with it. So yeah, but then I'm not a decoder or a soothsayer or any of that, but I do respect those that can do it and they use it for good. There's a lot of codes and clues that you can see. You can see right through some of this stuff. So I'm thankful for that, the discernment, however it comes. So let's see. Void says it's all theater. Marcy says productions. Precisely. So here's what I'm saying. The items that are already back are guns. Okay. The other thing is CV-19. The other thing is CV-19. Okay. So those two things, and of course the extremist kind of language, the propaganda, the rhetoric is already back. So that's what you look forward to. Now, this whole idea of a debate, it's going to be like I said, get you a new pair of windshield wipers. Because that's that's where you're going to deflect it as it's coming down, right? As it's raining cats and dogs. Just get you a windshield wiper. But of course I would stream another debate just for the entertainment of it. But do I think some people are saying there's not going to be a debate? And then you do hear from the pundits, the political pundits, that we're not sure. We haven't gotten a confirmation on that. We haven't got a confirmation on that particular debate. And then it's all to keep you coming back. What was it? Sir Alfred Hitchcock Let them play God. Let them play God. It's all about suspense. It's all about the tension. It's all about the suspense. It's all about rhetoric. It's all about, and hey, I've leaned in for it. But do I have any faith or hope or trust in this stuff? No, I don't. No, I don't. So we'll see. And I had a neighbor of mine that was losing her crap like not too long ago. She was talking about, she just started all of a sudden, the thing about it is people are so reactionary and there's nothing behind it. She starts talking to me. We were just talking about things that are like education and all these, falling institutions. She starts, well, if they get TRUMP back in there, y'all going to really have a mess in this particular situation. I'm like, this is somebody that has this from a lady that has an Obama tag on her car, all of her cars. Now, I don't know whether the state rejected her last personalization application, but lady, you're out of your skull. You're a mess. Please stop being reactionary and sitting at home under a cloud of hot Takis dust and watching CNN and MSN. Please stop. Pick up a book and read something. Do some research for yourself. And stop all the fear and like, honey, you can't. Your whole life, your whole motivation at times, it's like you're always trying to set up some type of fear. It doesn't work on me. It doesn't work on me. Somebody once said, was it the Pastor Darby that said that fear is basically a friend of the enemy. Like I'm not doing that. I'm not. I listen. It's going to be what it is. It is what it is, and it's not what it's not. And it doesn't matter what thing they put behind the desk at this point. We still have to endure to the end. That's what we have. That's what we have to do. That doesn't change. That doesn't change with the selection seasons. It doesn't. Now, shout out to Mr. Pearson. Now, it's one thing, like I'm telling, some of these decodes are painful. Some of these decoding shows are painful. Not to say they're not valuable, but I do find it interesting that many of these shootings and many of these releases or things that are kind of released into the environment or to the atmosphere, that either the city leaders, the governors, the presidents all have these dates or correlate with some of this stuff. I do find that I can't really listen to it all. I can't. It's just way too much. But like I can get the bigger picture. I can get it. Can I sit through them? If it's painful for them to do, believe me, it's painful for those of us that are not, that aren't decoders. It can be painful to watch. So let's see. Marcy says, yep, it's just a puppet. Void says, plenty hate the system. However, most are terrified to think what would happen if their system. Exactly. Yeah. They'd rather have this. Like, I just keep seeing most of the things that I see when I look back at like ancient Rome and a lot of the killings, the murders, the corruptions, all the things that made Rome great. It's the same thing playing out here. It's the same thing. Shout out to Void who says decoders get a little overzealous at times. It's a lot. I'm not a numbers person. Dare I say numbers person? What is that? I'm not a person that does. That's not a gift of mine. I don't have, that's not a skill of mine. That's not a talent. It's not a skill, but I can appreciate and respect those that do. Some of it sticks, some of it doesn't. But, I'm not going to deny that it's not only interesting, but some of those things are important. But yeah, so I'm saying all that to say, I think you guys were burning a whopping 29 minutes and 56 seconds. I typically, I'm in home improvement mode. It's home improvement mode, but I'm going to come on later because I want to talk a little bit about the clown shows to come, and I don't know, it's just going to be a lot. Just like this Cat Williams interview is just a big dump, a big mind, a controlled opposition dump. I think the next several months are going to be a controlled opposition dump. And honestly, who knows? By this time they may say, "Hey, well, how about we just lock them down and say, like California, you all have to just jump on. You all have to do your ballot mail-in. Never mind absentee ballots. Never mind. You're all gonna have to stay home and do what we say." Which I've heard Kamala Harris say that it's going to take a lot of work. It is, yeah, well, no doubt. It is. It's going to take a lot of propaganda. They're already loading. They're already loading. So I don't know, who knows, but I do think financially the markets are in a mess. Everyone's, "Oh, the economy's great. It's so great. It's really great." Can't you see how great it is? And so I don't know if anybody wants to drop a line on the Epstein, to me, nothing burger. I just think that is, I don't know. To me, that's a point of irritability. Like, why do you keep dripping out? "Oh, this person was involved. Oh, this person was there. All that." Why? There was already a list out there. There was already a list out there. "Oh, Bill Clinton is on the list." Ho 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 ho. Well, he was on. We knew about. You see what I'm talking about? This particular channel and many other channels, we're already at like a 36 months plus ahead of these other, you know, scams or crap that comes out. I said 18 months, but it's more than that in some cases. So yeah, I'm not, and the same thing. Cat Williams goes in. He talks about what's his name, Harvey Weinstein. He talks about that, and I'm just thinking, like, you guys you really find this, it's really thrilling for you if you've been asleep for the last if sheep are gonna sheep, and a lot of people have been sheeping since long before 2024, long before CV19. But like I said, even the holidays have been a distraction because Newsom, and that's another, I'm going to drop the lines on that. He's been dripping, he's passed hundreds, thousands of bills, they're saying, and he's getting ready to unleash those. And I talked a little bit about that on my brief stream the other day. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me and on the mobile streams, and I'm going to get it together because to me, there's entertainment in this, and it's nice to see you guys, of course. But to me, this little Rome 2.0, Babylon will suckle you. Just saying. So yeah, so what was it? Like 5 great families of Rome. And they all, and the concept that they're better because there's supposed to be this illusion that there was a balance of power. But then, of course, what was it? Caesar was stabbed 23 times outside the Senate. And I'm telling you, like, that may not be what's happened here, but it's still an illusion. It's still an illusion. As long as you promise people, if you promise people their illusions, you steal their war and conjure magic for them and pretend you're for the little guy, and and there's actually a red team, a blue team, they'll love you for it. It's sad, but that's what has happened. Let me just read this. What is it? Deagle.com, 2017, 327 million to 100 million. Yeah, and then they're already talking about 2025 SPARS. The children keep coming up. If they can't get us if they can't say that, because KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, says that the guns are the #1 killer of our kids. So, and to me, that kind of goes consistently with the next racist killer of our kids will be SPARS in 2025. That's next year. That is next year, friends. And I've talked about SPARS on here before a little bit. And it's another, it's a 20, it's another pseudo event 201 coming at you. So, preparation is key. You name it. Let's see. Marcy says, sorry guys. Sorry. Marcy says the GPN will be drastically down too. And yeah, but then of course in all these wars, like that's built into. I don't know. I honestly, I don't see how the dollar is the dollar, the petrodollar, how anything is still standing at this point. But you still have people, they want encouraging people to go out and buy cars and homes. And there's a guy, a YouTuber, John Williams. He's very thorough with his outlook on the economy. And, he talks about this being the time of, the greatest, trying to get people prepared. I mean, and the only thing about some of his, to me, the premise is to prepare you. He says his platform is prepare you for the greatest wealth transfer the world's ever seen, basically. But then at the same time, I'm just thinking, if our dollar or petrodollar is floundering and people have gone away from that on a global scale, how are you going to, is your credit score and all that going to even matter? Is that going to matter? If you have a 800 credit score, I don't know. I'm just saying, just like to me, I don't know how we can be floundering and not floundering at the same time financially, or on the verge of a collapse. It's got to be like, and then and they talk about the $34 trillion. I mean, like, weren't we already it's like they just keep hitting the, just be push it back one more time. They didn't see that. It's like, set the clocks back, fall back on the debt clock. We fall back. It seems like we have daylight savings time on the debt ceiling and a debt clock as well. I thought we were already at 34. I suspect it's more than that, more debt than that. More debt than that. So these are the things that are looming out there. But I'll come in studio later. Yeah. I'll be at your service later. But I appreciate you guys for hanging in there, and I'll probably be back in about hour and a half-ish. So I just wanted to let you know what was, just give you we'll get a little newsy before the news, if you will. All right, Marcy, I look forward to it. So Gary Gage says, let's see, Marcy says their plan is zero carbon, all life forms can take. That's what I'm saying. So how are you going to get to zero carbon if mankind is going to exist, if mankind is going to be sustained, how are you going to get to zero? Yeah, I'm just thinking. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, they don't think people are actually listening, Yeah, like, does mankind not need carbon? Like, how are you going to do that? Unless you're preparing us for something that is not human. Unless you're preparing us for something for the entry or for the takeover of something that's not human. When I think about that, or you're making room for something that does not need. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, Gary Gage says probably the credit score will be replaced with, yes, the social credit score, because I do believe the culture war has been lost. Let's see. Hold on one second, just two shakes here. I'm reading some of the comments, and I'm gonna go and charge up this little dinky device, and then I'll come back in just a bit. Marcy, I'm going back into your comments where you said it's a distraction to keep us from seeing they're taking our country down after they get the, yeah, that's it. Precisely. Yeah, but I don't find I don't find that whole Epstein situation very entertaining or even fulfilling. I don't find the expose of these people to be fulfilling by any stretch. AZ's here. Dum, bum, bum, da. Good morning to you, AZ. Good morning. Coffee. What a great idea. What a great idea. Okay. So let's see, in the hashtag the machine. So I guess are they planning on rolling out the Dominion machines again? I mean, let me know what you guys think. This is like, to me, I would have called this the anticipation guide. This is your anticipation guide for news on Saturday. your anticipation guide for the news. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm on about. Okay, guys. AZ says carbon is the simplest way to create heat. Carbon with oxygen burns. Diamonds are made of carbon. Yeah, well, I gotcha. You guys are amazing. So let me say hi to everybody, and then I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna make like a banana and split. Okay, so Bohan, thank you so much for coming. It's been a lifetime. If you guys are around in about an hour and a half-ish, and just roughly hour and a half-ish, I'll be in studio, and I'll have the links and I'll have some links for you guys, some sources for the California. California is just they're ushering it in. They can't get it in fast enough. KJP and John Kirby. I'll be talking about that. I'll be playing the ad of the thing at the the current thing at the White House. I'll be playing that. Not going to talk a whole lot more about the whole debt thing, which, if you just look at it, Mr. Pearson shared I think it was a pretty good source on, in fact, he revealed one of the sources of a book. Is it The Day the Dollar Dies? The Day the Dollar Dies? Is it Cantillon, I think, is the author of that book. It's worth probably getting it. You could probably get it for like $2 if you're interested in that kind of reading. But of course, it's got the quotes from Mayor Amschel Rothschild in that one, and tons. Talks about World War II, all kinds. It just, it's dealing with a whole lot. So I won't be long here. I didn't have my little iPad queued up, but I said, what, I'm going to just go in studio today. I spent too much time in the car. So it's Willard Cantillon. Yeah, so somebody else has rewritten it, but I prefer the older books, the older publications. Shout out to Uncool Paranoia. It's corn. Let's see. And I'm going to get on out of here. Marcy T, of course. Marcy T, thank you so much. Void, Gary Gage. You guys are always keeping things stimulated and keeping it vibrant. Keeping it vibrant. Did I say vibrant? Oh, there's another bit of a scandal that I want to talk about. It's called the Dream Church. That's a whole nother, their little New Year's Eve celebration, the Dream Church in Atlanta. I want to talk about that. That's a whole meal in itself. I've looked at their logo, and to me, that logo reminds me of another place. Dark place. I'm telling you, for people that consider themselves black or black Americans, I'm telling you, we're being used. And I feared that we were going to be used to bring in they were going to use black people or indoctrinate black people to bring in all kinds of crazy things in. So many things will be revealed. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to look at the Dream Church. There's some things going on there, without a doubt. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys for humoring me this morning. I will see you in a little bit. I will see you in a little bit, and we'll talk about some of these headlines, okay? All right, guys, thanks so much. Gary Gage says in the 1970s, all the doomsday movies were about the world becoming a desert because the scare was about humans were depleting carbon in the air. Void says, I believe the machine is already at the helm. AI is captain now. Only AI would have consolidated everything into 2 companies, BlackRock and Vanguard. Ooh, nice. Thank you, Void. Woohoo. Coming in hot. All right, and Marcy T, thank you so much. And y'all put the pendulum out there. We'll see what happens. We'll see what shakes loose. All right, guys, until then, I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm trying to make it 1 to 2 hours max window, okay? All right, guys, see you later. Bye for now.